The Little Peter experiment is one of the most important studies in the history of behavior science because it showed that fear can not only be learned, it can also be unlearned. It is Jose here from Train Me Please. Let's go. In 1924, psychologist Mary Carver Jones conducted a study with a young boy known as Peter, who was about 2 years and 10 months old. Peter had developed a strong fear of animals with fur, especially rabbits. When he saw a rabbit, he would cry, withdraw, and show clear signs of distress. This study was particularly important because a few years earlier, psychologists John B. Watson and Rosalie Rayner had shown that fear could be created through conditioning in the famous Little Albert experiment. But nobody had clearly demonstrated how to reverse that fear. Mary Carver Jones wanted to know if they can be conditioned, can it also be removed using the same principles of learning? To test this, she designed a procedure that combined two powerful behavioral processes: gradual exposure and counterconditioning. At first, Peter was simply allowed to play in a room while a rabbit sat inside a cage far away. If the rabbit got too close, Peter would cry. So the rabbit was kept at a distance where Peter could still remain calm. Then Jones added something very important: food. Peter was given snacks he really enjoyed while the rabbit was present. Over time, the rabbit was moved closer and closer, but only as close as Peter could tolerate while continuing to eat and stay relaxed. What was happening here is a process called counterconditioning, or even perhaps more accurately, reconditioning. Originally, the rabbit predicted fear, but now the rabbit started predicting something pleasant: food. Gradually, Peter's emotional response changed. Instead of fear, the rabbit began to be associated with positive experiences. Over multiple sessions, Peter progressed step by step. First, he tolerated the rabbit across the room, then closer. Eventually, he was able to touch it, hold it, and interact with it without showing fear. Interestingly, the effect didn't just apply to the rabbit. His fear of other furry objects like coats and feathers also decreased. In other words, the reduction in fear generalized to similar stimuli. Because of work like this, Mary Carver Jones is sometimes called the mother of behavior therapy, and the principles she demonstrated are still widely used today. Especially in dog training, many dogs develop fears of things like other dogs, strangers, cars, or loud noises. These fears often work the same way Peter's did. A stimulus predicts something unpleasant, and the dog develops an emotional response of fear. The key point here is that fear is an emotional response, and emotional responses are often learned through associations. So, if a dog has learned that another dog predicts something scary, our job isn't to punish that reaction. Our job is to change the association. And this is where desensitization and counterconditioning come in. Desensitization means gradually exposing the dog to the scary stimulus at an intensity low enough that the dog can stay under threshold. Counterconditioning means pairing that stimulus with something the dog loves, like food, play, or access to something reinforcing. So imagine a dog that is afraid of other dogs. Instead of forcing close interactions, we might start by letting the dog observe another dog from a comfortable distance while receiving treats. Over time, as the dog becomes more relaxed, the distance can gradually decrease, just like Peter and the rabbit. The goal is not to force the dog to face their fears. The goal is to carefully create new emotional associations. Eventually, the dog may begin to look at the once scary stimulus and think good things happen when that appears. And that's the same basic learning process that Mary Carver Jones demonstrated over a century ago. Fear can be learned, but with the right approach, it can also be unlearned. Could you please click the like button below so that other people can find this content? Also, leave me a comment below with the keyword Counterconditioning. That will let me know that you watched the video to this point. My online courses are a great way to support all the free content I produce. They are easy to complete and super affordable. I will link them in the description below. Next, go here for another interesting video about the fascinating world of behavior and emotions. Obrigado e até breve. Tchau!